Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin has confirmed the break to the downside from this price pattern, which activates a bearish price target. So I'll be talking about that in just a moment, alongside Ethereum, which is now breaking below critical support and also flashing a new signal in the short term. So I'll be talking about that later in the video, so definitely watch to the end. First of all, just giving you a really quick update here on the daily Bitcoin chart. And of course, right now, this bearish divergence that I've been talking about is still currently active. And so once again, like I've been saying over the last 1 week or so, I would not be expecting a significant amount of bullish momentum, at least in the short term here. And we're most likely going to see either some choppy sideways price action or potentially a bit more of a pullback in the price of Bitcoin over the coming weeks. And obviously, over the last 1 week, this is precisely what we have seen as expected. But over the next 1 to 2 weeks, we could continue to see this bearish divergence play out. But if you're taking a look at the DXY, the US dollar index, at least as of right now, this is still technically trending in the bearish direction, forming lower highs and lower lows here on the daily time frame. And generally speaking, when the DXY is in a bearish trend, that usually means Bitcoin is in a bullish trend. But obviously, bullish trends can contain sideways consolidations or even some pullbacks from time to time during a bullish trend. Just like how in a bearish trend, of course, we can see the odd pump here and there in the price of Bitcoin during a bearish trend. And so basically, it is possible we could remain within the bullish trend if the DXY remains bearish. Once again, Bitcoin could remain bullish, but at least for now, in the somewhat shorter term, once again, speaking about the next 1 to 2 weeks or so, this bearish divergence is still currently playing out, which means we're lacking bullish momentum, at least in the short term. And so essentially, even though we may remain within the bullish trend if the DXY remains bearish, of course, right now we're just taking a bit of a pause from that bullish trend before we could potentially continue the bullish trend later on. And I would only start to flip much more bearish again in terms of the trend on the daily time frame if we see a strong bullish reversal here in the DXY, forming higher lows and higher highs. But at least as of right now, that is not yet confirmed. And if we're taking a look at the 8-hour Bitcoin chart right now, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is running into this important ascending line of support, which was previous resistance. And this line is sitting at around 40.8k. And so far, this line right here has already acted as some support as of right now, and also support just here. But if we end up seeing a confirmed break below that line right there, below 40.8k with confirmation, then the next support to watch is sitting at around 40,000. We could expect some support at around 40,000 based on these lows right here. But if we simply break below 40k, then I would expect potentially a drop down towards around 38k, because based on a lot of previous resistance, we should expect a decent amount of support down towards 38k if we first break below 40.8k, which at least as of right now has not yet happened. And now if we're taking a look at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, obviously over the last 1 day, as I said in my last video, we had that initial break to the downside. We were beginning to break this line of support. And since my last video, we actually saw a perfect retest of this line, which was one of the confirmation signals I was talking about. Once again, if we see a retest and flip that level into new resistance and see a rejection, once again, that can help to further confirm the break to the downside, because flipping support into new resistance is bearish price structure. And so obviously, considering we've seen multiple candle closes below this line of support and also that retest, which already confirmed close to a day ago now, of course, this means the break to the downside for this symmetrical triangle pattern is now active, which means we have an active bearish price target sitting at approximately 38.4k. And if you watched my last 1 to 2 videos here on the channel, of course, you'll know about the short-term trading strategy that I'm taking here. But just a quick recap of my last 2 videos over the last 2 days in case you missed those videos. Basically, my trading strategy is to enter a short position the moment we begin to confirm a break to the downside below this support, which obviously has now already happened. And so like I've been preparing you all for 2 days now, of course, I have now entered that short position, which I entered at around 41.7k, as you can see right here. And so basically, as we began to break below this line of support, and especially as we retested that level and confirmed a rejection, once again, that was extra confirmation and a signal to simply add to a short position, which is what I did right here. And now, obviously, this is not a massive $1 million trade, but considering it's already moving into profits, of course, I've moved my stop loss at my entry price. And so essentially for me in this position, of course, this is essentially a risk-free trade if you have your stop loss at your entry price. Because once again, when it comes to a short position, I'm continuing to make profits as the price dumps. And in the worst case scenario, which for a short position, the worst case scenario would be a massive quick pump back to the upside. And in that case, once again, with my stop loss at break even at my entry price, even in that scenario, if the price of Bitcoin quickly pumps back to the upside, that stop loss will exit me out of the trade automatically at my entry price at break even. And so essentially right now, I'm just riding this trade to the downside. And of course, if we hit the technical price targets, I will close a significant amount of that trade. And so this is basically the exact same trading strategy as what I executed right back here, but basically in the inverse. Of course, instead of a short position, I used a long position. Because once again, if you were on this channel a couple of weeks ago, around 2 to 3 weeks ago now, you would know that I entered a long position all the way back down here at the breakout above 38,000. And I took a lot of profits off the table from that position. I closed a lot of that long position around the technical price target for a previous ascending triangle pattern, but I kept some of that long position open as the price of Bitcoin continued further to the upside. Of course, I just moved my stop loss further to the upside to continue to profit. And then the moment we saw that massive dump, that just hit my stop loss and closed the entire trade in huge profits. And so once again, I'm basically executing that exact same trading strategy, a breakout trade, but in this case, it is the bearish scenario using a short position, not a long position. And if you also want to take advantage of these moves in the price of Bitcoin, these easy breakout trades that we can take using longs or shorts, depending if we're bullish or bearish, then personally, I trade over on Bybit, as you can see right here, which I'll leave a link to in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And in fact, if you use that link to make a Bybit account, you can get up to a $30,000 deposit bonus using that link, but without that link, it's only a few $100s, so you might as well use that link down below if you want to trade over on Bybit. But for whatever reason, if you cannot access Bybit or you cannot KYC on Bybit, there is also Bitflex, which is another crypto exchange similar to Bybit, but you don't need KYC for Bitflex. And so I'll also make sure to leave a link to Bitflex in the description down below and in the pinned comment. And if you use that link to make a Bitflex account, simply deposit $100 worth of crypto and to make one trade over on Bitflex to claim a 10 USDT bonus completely for free. And so if you're trading crypto anyway, or you're preparing to take the next trade in Bitcoin or crypto, then make sure to check out those links down below for those extra bonuses. And just taking a quick look at the Bitcoin liquidation heat map, and over the last one day, the price of Bitcoin went almost exactly down towards around 40.5k just recently. And obviously over the last few days, I've been warning you that the price of Bitcoin is very likely going to go towards around 40.5k very soon, especially if the price breaks below this line of support on the 4-hour chart, which once again was sitting at around 41.9k approximately. And so the moment we broke below that line of support, of course, once again, 40.5k was essentially a magnet for the price of Bitcoin, attracting Bitcoin down towards 40.5k. But right now, even though the price of Bitcoin has basically hit 40.5k, at least for now here in the liquidation heat map, that liquidity is still there. And so there's still hundreds of millions of dollars worth of long positions still sitting at around 40,500, which the price of Bitcoin is not yet fully liquidated. And so once again, this means that it's likely that the price of Bitcoin could once again retest around 40,500 sometime soon in the short term. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily time frame. And once again, as I've been talking about over the last 1 week or so, we do have an active bearish divergence here on the daily time frame. And so once again, as I've been saying over the last 1 week or so, it's very likely the price of ETH over the next few weeks is going to play out either some choppy sideways price action or potentially a bit more bearish price action once again within the next few weeks. And so basically in the somewhat shorter term here on the daily time frame, as in over the next 1 to 2 weeks or so, I would not necessarily be overly bullish, at least in the short term. But as of right now, at the time of recording this video, of course, the price of ETH is now running into this major area of support, which was previous resistance, and this is sitting in between around 2.1k going up towards around 2150. And so, of course, it's possible the price of ETH could bounce at this area of support. That's a possibility, and we could continue to see some choppy sideways price action as a result of that bearish divergence. But if we see a confirmed confirmed break below 2.1k, then the next level of support based on the Fibonacci retracement tool from swing low to swing high here on that 8-hour time frame is sitting at around 2010 to 2020 based on the 38.2% Fibonacci level of support. And so once again, if we confirm a break below around 2.1k here on the daily chart, then it's likely once again that the price of ETH could drop around $100 to the downside towards this support. But in a more bearish scenario, if we actually broke below around $2,000, then in that case, we have more support at around 1910 and a lot more support at this golden pocket sitting in between around 1780 going up towards around 1810. And if we're taking a look at the shorter term, looking at the 2-hour time frame, once again, as I've been warning about since all the way back up here, we do have a short-term bearish divergence, which is still playing out. And here on the 2-hour chart, these bullish and bearish divergences have been some great indicators, at least as of recent. And as of right now, this bearish divergence on the 2-hour chart is not yet invalidated. Once again, right now, it is still playing out, but at least as of right now, the 2-hour Ethereum RSI is entering into oversold territories. And if you're looking at the last time this happened, back around the 11th of December, of course, back then, we were approaching a local low. And now, even in that scenario, of course, we did end up making a new lower low later on, which then formed a bullish divergence. And so just because the 2-hour Ethereum RSI is oversold right now, that does not guarantee that this is it for the bearish price action. Once again, it is still possible. We could see a little bit more bearish price action. But basically, this oversold signal here in the 2-hour RSI is telling us here in the immediate short term that we are approaching limited downside price action, which means sometime soon we could see some sort of bounce. But overall, just in the short term, once again, we are more bearish than bullish due to this bearish divergence on the 2-hour charts playing out. And once again, the bearish divergence on the daily chart means at the very least, we're going to see either some choppy sideways price action or potentially a little bit more bearish price action in the form of a pullback. But remember, if you're in a short position, obviously you're profiting from bearish price action. So even if we do see a further pullback, obviously that's just more profits for the shorts. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that are perma bulls or perma bears that just get angry at the other side if someone's shorting the market or longing the market. But obviously the best case scenario for all of us is if we can catch these moves to the upside with long positions and also catch the moves to the downside with short positions. And so if we leave the emotions aside and simply trade the moves that we can see on the chart, obviously we can continue to make profits no matter if the market is bullish or bearish. And so obviously make sure you subscribe to this channel with notifications turned on so that you don't miss these short-term trades that I personally am taking. And if you want to know how you can easily profit from crypto, no matter if the price is bullish, bearish, or just chopping around sideways, you can do that by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how you can easily profit if the price is bullish or bearish using longs and shorts, and the video in the bottom left shows you how you can easily profit in choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that is everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.